Part 5 of repairing the Opel GT engine. This is a big valve head, 45 millimeter intakes, 39 millimeter exhaust. The car had it had exhaust valve seats put in so you can run on unleaded gas, but they were never done right, and the exhaust valves were not seating properly. On top of that, the oversized intake valves were not machined and they were leaking on every cylinder. It's amazing, the car still seemed to go very fast, but no wonder it was hard to set up. So all the valves were leaking. They had to be reseated. The intake valves were so bad, they had to machine it out, put in inserts, and then we refit the valves to that. New valve seals all the way across. These are the intakes. It was leaking on the valve seals. They put really poor quality ones in. You can buy better. All the valves are put out in order so that no parts are mixed up. Tap the cam out from behind with a narrow piece of wood. When it's up front here, it should sit pretty flush. Take it out. Just push it through and you support it in the center here so that it doesn't scratch anything. The cam lobes were excessively worn on the top of the lobes. The machine shop put new bearings in based on this cam because they look okay, but they were worn. And they never did replace the bearing caps, which they should have when I paid for the engine rebuild out west. Anyways, they're worn, so we need a new cam. The thing is, why are they worn? And why were the solid lifters also worn? Very premature, 10,000 K. The cam I figured was a new Isky. However, it turns out it wasn't a new Isky. They took the original cam and reground it for the high lift configuration. What happens in that case, the outer pickling on the cam, the hardest part of the cam, gets machined off. Same with the lifters. They were regrinds as well. And they were all pitted and everything because the hardness was taken away. So that's why they don't last. I'm getting a new cam from Ken Newman in England. It's brand new, molybdenum steel. I gather he can get me some specially rated springs along with proper solid lifters to match the cam. Very important. That's why a lot of engines fail. I get it with Chevy 350s in the past. I've seen it happen a lot. Buy new, don't get regrind. Another point with solid lifters. When they regrind them, they usually grind them flat unless they're really good at what they do, and usually they're not. New lifters usually have a little dish in the top, a slight, like you don't want a deep dish, that's a worn lifter, but a slight curvature inward on the top of the lifter will create a spinning effect as the valves move, so it keeps the lubrication there. Regrinds are quite often ground flat and they don't spin the valve, so it's constantly in the same position instead of rotating and lubricating. So look for that when you're putting in lifters in your car. Print to seal gasket. It's like, it gets hot and seals. Piece of crap. Anyways, part of the problem. So now I ordered a good, you're talking a $30 gasket, right? So I ordered a Cometic gasket. They make the best that I know of. They're in Ohio in the USA. And they make MLS gaskets they use on dragsters and very high compression cars. Well, this car is pretty high revving, might rev up to $8,000. I need a proper gasket, not something print to seal. So I ordered a Cometic gasket, and they'll custom make it to fit your Opel or whatever car you want. And the greatest feature is you can order it according to the thickness you need based on what you shaved off the head. In this case, I needed a 40 thou gasket. So here it is. It's an MLS gasket, comes in 3 layers, quite often used on dragsters and race cars. And when it's compressed, it'll be 40 thou. And this is custom made for the Opel. And that's what's going to go on there now. It won't leak again, especially with the head resurfaced. And I don't beat the shit out of the car anyways. And should you take the head off again, you can actually reuse the gasket. So it's actually pretty good value, but it's a couple $100. But hey, it's worth it. A whole engine apart, all your labor. It's not worth it to put a cheap head gasket. Please like and subscribe.